Forget Netflix, forget Showmax. South Africa's real-life drama outwrites every script. This isn't fiction, it's a saga of prophets, generals, and power, where faith meets fear and justice bends beneath the weight of money. When Prophet Shepherd Bushiri, once celebrated as the man of God, fled South Africa, many thought the story was over. But now, years later, he's back. Not in person, but in voice. A voice that just accused one of the nation's most feared law enforcement generals of taking bribes to make a case disappear. His words rippled across the country because the man he accused, General Shadrack Sibiya, isn't just any officer. He's the so-called Pitbull of South African policing, a name synonymous with force, fear, and unshakable power. But this isn't just about two men. It's about a nation asking who really controls justice when both the hunted and a hunter are playing the same game? In this episode of Border Files, we journey into the shadowed corridors of faith, corruption, and state power in South Africa and beyond. Because what's unfolding here may not be unique to one country. It may be the mirror of a global pattern where morality is traded for money and truth has a price. To understand the storm shaking South Africa today, we must rewind. Shepherd Bushiri rose from Malawi to become one of Africa's most controversial religious figures. A preacher, a businessman, a self-declared prophet. His ministry drew tens of thousands and millions of dollars, promising miracles, prosperity, and divine breakthrough. But behind the sermons lay allegations of fraud and money laundering. In 2020, the South African authorities pounced. Bushiri and his wife were arrested, and later, mysteriously, they escaped across the border to Malawi, sparking outrage. Years passed, then suddenly, his voice returned. In a video released online, Bushiri accused top law enforcement of corruption, that officials within the Hawks, South Africa's Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation, demanded money to make his problems go away. The name at the center, General Shadrack Sibiya, the Pitbull, a man once hailed for his tough stance against organized crime, a symbol of strength, now a symbol of suspicion. But this story doesn't end in Pretoria, because what's unfolding here touches a much larger pattern across Africa, across continents, where the boundaries between the sacred, the state, and the shadow economy blur into one. From megachurch empires to political kingdoms, from police generals to private tycoons, a silent web connects them all. A web of power, protection, and profit. Bushiri claims he met General Sibiya at a farm, not once, but several times. He says money was exchanged, promises were made, and justice was sold. But the Sibiya camp denies everything. To them, this is an act of revenge, the words of a fugitive trying to clean his own image. If what Bushiri says is true, it would implicate the very structure meant to uphold justice. If it's false, it's one of the most sophisticated deflections we've seen from a religious figure. Either way, the truth is radioactive, because the allegations point to something bigger, a collapse of trust in the justice system itself. Across Africa, 80% of citizens say they distrust law enforcement. Transparency International ranks corruption as one of the region's deepest challenges. But behind every statistic lies a human cost, families waiting for justice that never arrives. In South Africa, corruption doesn't just happen in smoky rooms, it lives in the open. From state capture scandals to bribes for court cases, the system bleeds integrity. And when the accused and the accuser both wear the mask of righteousness, who do people believe? We don't know who to trust anymore. They say they fight corruption, but they all eat from the same plate. This is not just a South African story. In Nigeria, pastors have faced fraud charges while blessing presidents. In Brazil, evangelical power brokers sit inside Congress. In the United States, religious influence shapes justice and policy behind closed doors. Across continents, the alliance between faith and power forms a shadow state, a system where moral authority becomes political currency. The Bushiri-Sibiya case is more than corruption. It's about how institutions become hostage to the very powers they were created to regulate. The prophet says he was extorted. The general says he was defamed. The public says they're both lying. But beneath the noise lies a question that cuts deep. If justice is for sale, who can afford the truth? Power has a pattern. It feeds on silence. And as long as fear keeps people quiet, corruption evolves from act to culture, from culture to identity. South Africa stands at a crossroads between faith and accountability, between power and justice. Bushiri's words may never be fully proven. Sibiya may never face trial, but the conversation they've ignited, that may be their greatest impact. Because in every society where the powerful trade truth for influence, ordinary citizens pay the price. The collapse of trust is not abstract, it's lived daily by millions. And perhaps in the end, this story isn't about one prophet or one general. It's about the invisible war between morality and manipulation, and the cost of silence in the face of corruption. As the world turns, one truth remains. The greatest enemy of justice is not power itself, but the belief that power cannot be challenged.